Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of International Soccer Break. I'm your host, Sahil. Okay, what do I want to talk about today? So, we've recently spoken a lot about the European Championships. I've talked a lot about the US national team, but I want to talk about the other national team I support today. Because in addition to the US, I'm also a proud supporter of the Indian national football team. And what happened this week to that team was utterly ridiculous. And I want to get into this incident. Many of you may have heard out there what happened in the World Cup qualification, but for those that haven't, let me just paint a little picture here. So, India had performed well at the beginning of the qualification. This is the second round of qualification, which then takes you to the third round of qualification, that's the round that there's entry into the 2026 World Cup. So, basically, India needed to win this last match. They're playing Qatar. Now, you might say, okay, well, Qatar's a top team in Asia, so that's going to be difficult. But it was Qatar's B team because Qatar had already qualified for the next round. And this B team had just tied Afghanistan. So there was actually a good opportunity here for India. And they took the lead first. And they were winning 1-0 until the 70th minute. And that's when things became comical, is the best way that I can put it. And let me just demonstrate, because I think the only way that this makes sense, or that you can see the true ridiculousness of this, is if I show you this incident. So you see this right here, right? That's looks like the ball's out. It's, there's a player there that, he's out. This should be the end of the play, right? Nothing more that should be done. I'm gonna put this graphic away because I don't want to see it anymore, and we're kind of done with that. So that's what happened, and where that play went is the ball was pulled back from out of bounds, and the Qatari players scored from that, and that tied up the match 1-1. The referee let it stand. There was no VAR because in World Cup qualifiers, apparently we don't need VAR. That mistake by the referee would have been controversial if it happened on a pitch with 4 and 5 year olds. But for it to happen at the highest level of football is downright embarrassing, disgraceful, and the implication that it had, both from a progression of the program for India, as well as potential financial implication for the program. Because when you make it to the third round, you get more experience in terms of matches against tougher teams, as well as potentially more financial remuneration from the program once they see that, okay, we need to put more stimulus into this program because this is actually a program that has the ability to develop. So there's potential, drawbacks far ranging from a ridiculous incident like this. Now, could Qatar have come back and scored another goal and anyway and eliminated India? Yes. But regardless of that situation, the fact that week after week in the Premier League, VAR is crossing out goals based on extremely marginal offsides where a player's cleat or something like that is a little bit ahead. With these European championships going on, there's already been goals that have been disallowed for very marginal offsides. And the fact that on one hand, we are so technologically advanced in one aspect of the game, and then in something like this, you allow a goal that shouldn't be allowed at any level of football, and to allow it at the highest level when the World Cup is at stake is downright ridiculous. And I don't even know what more to say about this goal. It just needs to stop. Things like this need to stop, and VAR needs to be implemented yesterday for stuff like this, because this just cannot fly. What's next for Indian football? As hard as it is, they need to put this entire qualification campaign behind them, because there was a lot of good stuff that happened, but as this is a story we've heard a lot as Indian sports fans, I I think we've all seen this. There is the high rise, and then somehow there's a comedic collapse, which always seems to happen in some capacity. And I think it's time for a change. And I'm hoping that this team with the next generation, obviously Sunil Chhetri is retired now, the next generation can finally take Indian football to where it needs to go. And the next focus would, of course, be the qualification for the Asian Cup, because that's not going to be easy. There's a lot of tough teams that could potentially land in India's group. And they need to take the good things that happened in these last campaign and translate that into the campaign moving forward, and just completely forget about this ridiculous incident. And I think it's on FIFA to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. So, for all you Indian football fans out there, if you're enjoying the videos that we have regarding India, we'll continue to follow the team. Please subscribe to the channel. We look forward to the next round of qualification for a major tournament, which, of course, is the Asian Cup that India has. And keep the faith out there, Indian football fans. Just keep supporting the team and keep supporting the development of the program. We'll get there. We'll get there one day. But until then, Chak De India. Let's go.